Hey there, Carrie Rhodes here. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be looking at the full release from Trinity Stamps for January 2024. They've got stamps, dies, stencils, and of course embellishments. I am in love with so many of these things. I literally cannot wait to show them to you. So let's jump right in with this cute new stamp set called a Glazing. It's a 4x8 set. And it pairs beautifully with this new circle shape die set. This is going to create a circle shaped card, and it creates a donut or a bagel or a pizza with the coordinating pieces in that die set. These create the sprinkles or the sesame seeds if you want to make a bagel. There's also some hearts in there for decoration. So I'm going to show you how this works just real briefly. It fits on an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper on the end where you could cut 2 or 3 cards from one sheet of cardstock. The finished size is about 4 inches, and then you have dies there to help you turn this into a bagel or a donut or a pizza, which I will also show you. So you can see here, layer up that frosting. You've got the little hole left over, which can be a donut hole or a cake pop. You've got this piece right here, which is meant to be used for when you make it a pizza, but it could also turn it into a sugar cookie or, whatever. Let your imagination soar. Here's the little stamp that you can use to create a drizzle on top of your donut. And then those dies that create the sprinkles I've used there to top it off. I put a sentiment from that set in there, which is full of punny little donut sentiments and bagel sentiments. All right, then there's also this sprinkles on my donut stamp and coordinating die set. There's a die to cut out the whole sentiment, but there's also this die where they have used the negative space on the inside of that die to create another die that cuts out tons of sprinkles. I'm using it 2 different ways in today's video because I have a few finished projects I'm going to show you along the way, but there's all those sprinkles die cut out. So cool. I didn't count how many, but there's a ton. And there's the sentiment die cut out. All right, we have another super cute tiny little 2x3 stamp set that's called Every Pizza Me, and it has this fun sentiment and then a heart-shaped pizza. Now you can die cut out the pizza, but there's also dies in this set that allow you to create a die cut pizza so you don't have to use the stamp. And there's even the little pepperonis. It's so cute. Okay, then we've got the die that die cuts out the saying and it bubble cuts around it, which is one of my favorite things about Trinity. And then we've got 6 little dies here that create pizza toppings, which we're going to put on that circle shape card I was talking to you about. So there you can see this set stamped and colored and die cut out. This is the stamped pizza here. I colored it with Copic markers. I tried to make the cheese look all melty. All right, now the pizza that you see on the right-hand side, this one right here, this is made with dies, and I tried to make it look as close to the stamped one as possible, just so you could see how amazing those dies are. Okay, so this card uses that die cut pizza and the sentiment, which has been stamped in red ink and embossed with clear powder. Okay, now let's look at the pizza toppings. We have a pepperoni, a mushroom, an olive, a red or a green pepper, and a red onion. And I've used them all on the circle shape card. I've used my Copic markers to kind of color in those pieces and give them life. And then you can fit that sentiment right on the inside of this card. And by the way, the inside is big enough for a gift card too. You could stick one of those in there. All right, next we're moving on to the tiny donut dipper die set. Say that fast 3 times. But this is going to create some small donuts. They're so darn cute. So you've got your donut layer, you've got a frosting layer, you've got a drizzle layer, you've got a die that creates all the sprinkles, and then you get 2 fallout pieces, which there are dies to make it look like it's dipped or it has drizzle on it. So lots of fun to be had with this die set. Here's a couple donuts I made, and I decorated the donut holes as well. And again, you could use these for cake balls or cake pops. I don't know if you've ever had a cake ball, but if you haven't, you need to fix that part of your life as soon as possible. And even if you have allergies, you can find them gluten-free and dairy-free. They're so yummy. You need that in your life. I'm just putting that out there, public service announcement. Okay, here is my card with the sprinkles on my donut stamp set, and the sprinkles are mixed with other little embellishments to create the shaker, and I use that heart-shaped pizza to make a heart-shaped donut. So cute. Okay, now we have our tiny teacup die set. You know, Trinity Stamps is known for like its mugs, teacups and mugs, right? So now we have this tiny little teacup and it has these fancy little pieces you can use to create a little decoration on there, the scallops and the lines. There's a die to make it look like it has tea in it and a tea bag. We're going to come back to that, but I want to show you this background stencil that creates a sprinkled border. So this is like you're going to stencil and then you're going to shift the stencil and stencil again, and it's going to create about a 1-inch border for you. So let me kind of show you how that works. I'm going to stencil out the first line, and you can see I've got tape there covering up the second line so I can create a border. So once I've got the first layer done, I'm going to peel that apart, and then I'll take the stencil and scoot it up. Now there are etched lines, so you can line up the stencil with what you've already stenciled, and that's very helpful. But also, this stencil is very forgiving. Like if you don't get it lined up exactly, no big deal, right? There's sprinkles, they can overlap, they can touch a little bit, not a big deal. So this is like a stress-free stencil. So you can see I shifted it up, and now I am stenciling again with my Blending Buddy brush and a darker color of ink. And now I've done all 6 layers and have this cute border that I added to this card with the tiny teacup and the tiny donut dipper and a bunch of cake balls or donut holes, and it says there's a whole lot to love about you from that very first stamp set I showed you called a glazing. But now we're moving on to some cheesy things. This is Great Grater Greatest stamp set and die set, about a 4x4 set. It's got your cheese grater image, a little cheese image, and then a bunch of sayings that play with the word great, but spelled G-R-A-T-E, like you're the greatest. I'm ever so grateful. You're a great teacher, but all using the word great spelled like a cheese grater. So here's those 2 images, colored and die cut out with the coordinating dies. And I will have a card for you with these images in just a minute, but I'm going to show you this first. This is the You're the Greatest die set, standalone die set that's going to create a die cut cheese grater and block of cheese that is so realistic. It is so very cool. So I've die cut all the pieces and put it together so you can see how awesome it looks. Now that piece right there, that die, that's actually the handle. It looks like an exclamation point, which I'm sure you could use it for that as well. And then the little black parts on this cheese grater, there's 1 die, you'll need to cut out 2 of those. And then you just kind of put it together like a little puzzle. There's also dies to create words like so grateful. You can play around with that. You're so great. And I've made a shaker card here, and that shredded cheese in the background uses that sprinkle on my donut die set, and I just die cut it a bunch of times and filled in that circle shaker with those. Okay, did you see the background on that card? It was made with this cheesy background stencil. Look how fun this is. A super quick and easy stencil that makes a great background for all your cheesy goodness. I have light yellow paper with dark yellow ink on top and used it for that little stamp set with the cheese grater and the cheese, and stamped there's no one greater than you. Isn't that fun? Now, if you like cheesy things, Trinity Stamps has free stamp and die set that you can get free with your order of $40 or more. And the die that comes with it is now in Trinity Teal. Isn't that so cute? So this is the first set that you can get. And as the sets sell out, then it is replaced with another one. And there's, I don't remember the exact number, 6 or so of these free sets. So maybe you'd want to collect them all. I'm kind of like that. I would love to. All right, let's move on to this new stamp set called Watts Up. Like, you know, a light bulb, how many watts is it? There's a coordinating die, and you can see there is a die for the filament, but it's not to die cut out the stamped filament. It is a standalone die. So you can see the one on the right here is completely stamped, or the one on the left is stamped. The one on the right has a stamped light bulb with the filament die cut. And here's a card I made with it. It's got lots of punny sentiments like love you Watts and so many more. And you can use those sentiments with this die set that's called Thanks a Watt. Now, there are 4 light bulb shapes in this one. There are 2 medium shaped dies, 1 large die, and then 1 die that cuts out the light bulb and the twisty part separately, this one right here. So this is like your main light bulb piece. So you've got that piece right there, and then you've got that twist part, which has a separate die I'm pointing to that cuts out the little detail pieces you can glue on top, like paper piecing. And then you can glue those on top of the shadow layer, this die right here. And there's a second die, it's actually the same exact size. You can use that with the largest die right here. Run them through the die machine at the same time, and it creates this cute little frame like that. And I'm going to use this to create a shaker. So I've cut out the largest size light bulb from this background sheet of paper, right, this one right here, yeah, and then my frame will fit on the inside of that. Now if you cut your shaker opening from the medium one, then this frame would sit on top of the paper. So it's up to you how you want to do it, but you can also create a thicker frame by using that smallest light bulb piece, and then you can make your whole ornament, or your whole light bulb, I mean, the shaker. Does that make sense? There's just so many choices with that. So much fun. Plus all the filaments have different words. I love it. And now let's talk about this one. This is the smartphone saying set. I love the sentiment that says, "You're still my favorite" notification. And there's a bunch of emojis there, and a little talk bubble with a heart and a big emoji face. And there's dies to cut them all out. And they go really well with the new cell phone mini slimline die set. Check it out. Isn't that cool? It looks like a real cell phone. And it's going to fit perfectly on a mini slimline size card, a 3x6 card. So here's that outline frame piece of the cell phone. You can see it on top of a 3x6 card base. And I just glued that down and trimmed off the corners with my scissors. There's a little rectangular piece here that is used to mount these little app-like die cuts here. And you can paper piece the center of them, or there's two different squares you can put behind them. One creates a white frame, and there's a smaller one that you wouldn't see the white frame at all. I mean, whatever color you would put behind it, doesn't have to be white. There's also a tiny little heart die you can use to make it look like you've liked a message. Plus you pair it with those sentiments and emojis from the cell phone saying set. So much fun. Okay, now we have the tiny speech bubble die set. This is just a set of 4 little speech bubbles, and there's also a heart in there. I love to add a little speech bubble with just a heart to my cards. I think it's so cute. So this is the perfect set for that. Plus you can die cut the heart right from the speech bubble itself. Isn't that fun? Love it. Okay, now we have our new stamp set that's called Picture This. It's a little Insta camera and instant picture. There's even a stamp of a little couple you could put inside that picture. And then we've got the sayings, "I'm no photographer, but I can picture us together." So cheesy, right? Okay, so then I have a card here where I've stamped out the camera and the instant picture. I've used sentiments from that set, and I've also stamped one of them on that tiny little speech bubble. Isn't that cute? Oh, I love it. But what's even cuter is the Insta Snap Die set, which is going to make an Insta camera that is about 4.5 inches by 4.25 inches. Check it out. Like, I could not stop making them in different colors because it's so darn cute, and I thought you'd like to see all the pieces and how quickly this goes together. Now the one die that die cuts out the little pieces, you're gonna have to die cut that from different colors, or maybe you like to do the thing where you die cut it all from white and color them the color you want. You could do that too. But here, this ring right here, when you die cut this out, you also get this large circle that you're gonna layer inside of that, like so. And then you've got a smaller ring you put on there, and then there's a really tiny circle that can be almost like a shine mark, and then you've got your viewfinder and your flash. So it just is really cute, really simple. And there is also an Insta picture that goes with this, so that's fun to pair with it. Some of our designers at Trinity Stamps have used this to make like a slider card where it looks like the picture is like coming up out of the camera. So cute. Here you can see that Insta picture. So it's going to have that larger white border at the bottom. Oh my gosh, I can't even. It's so cute. So here I have made a shape card just by taking the largest die from this set and die cutting it so the top of the die is on the fold of a piece of paper, and that created the shape card so I could make this a shape card. Yeah. Now if you want something cute to put on that Insta picture, how about this My One and Gnomely stamp set? There are 4 main gnome images, and the Kissy Kissy gnomes, they're too cute, too cute for words. There's a bunch of sentiments there and teeny tiny sentiments. Here you can see the stamp set all colored and die cut out, which makes them even more cute. And of course, I do have a card with this, and this card is on my YouTube channel as its own video, and it's for the release day hop for this release. And of course, there's a giveaway, so I will have that video at the end of this one. You can click and watch it next. Okay, now we have our Dragon Dance stamp set. This one is for like Chinese New Year, and did you know it's the year of the dragon? So this set is just so cute. I think it'll make some really fun cards. You can have the little dragon over the top of the image of the little kid under there. There's also a die in here that's like a masking die. So it's going to die cut out the shape of the dragon head as if you had stamped it and cut it out on the black line, but you don't have to fussy cut. You just die cut that out and use it as your mask for the head. So I think that's really cool. All right, so this sentiment say, dance like a dragon, Happy New Year. And there is a Chinese sentiment in there that says, may you be happy and prosper. I had to write that down so I could remember to tell you. Here I have colored out the images, and did you notice there is a die in there that creates confetti? Yeah, I love this, how Trinity Stamps is not wasting that open space, but creating other dies with it. Okay, there's also a paper pyrotechnics stencil. This is a 6x6 set. There are 4 different stencils, and you can create all of these fireworks that you see here. Check it out. Of course, it's etched, so you can easily layer up all the things and make your little different fireworks and make it on any size of card. You can arrange them however you like. You can use it with those like lunar pastes and glitter pastes and all the things. And these stencils are lettered. So stencil A, B, C, and D, which makes it a little bit easier for you to, first of all, know which side is the top of the stencil. So when you line up the next one, you can use the top side of that stencil too. That helps lining it up be much easier. And so then you just stencil away one little firework at a time, and I'm just showing you one of them so you can kind of see how that works. Very easy to do, especially with these blending brushes from Trinity Stamps. I can't even tell you how much I love them. They're so easy to use and make quick work of stenciling. So here's one of the fireworks all done. Love it. It really looks like it's bursting, doesn't it? I did a whole row of them. They're so very cool. I'll use that on a card coming up soon, I'm sure. But now let's talk about Simply Sentimental. We have a new set, Simply Sentimental Hugs. I'm sure that you know this if you've watched any of my videos before, but I love all of the Simply Sentimental sets from Trinity Stamps. So in these sets, there's one main word, like this one's hugs, which by the way, there's the word hugs and the word hug, which is crucial for some of these sub-sentiments. And then there's sub-sentiments that go with the sayings in this set, and the coordinating die has a die that cuts out that main word. But then there's dies that also die cut out the main word. So you've got all these choices, and the dies that cut out the stamped word become the shadow layer for the die cut words. It's so much, right? Okay, so let me just show you. I've stamped out the word hug and the word hugs in 2 different fonts so I can show you what they look like stamped and how when you die cut them out, it's like they have a shadow layer, right? Very awesome. And then here you can see that one that says hug colored because I love coloring that one in. And now I'm showing you the die cut version of the same exact word with the white letters on red glitter foam. It's so cool. So then you can pair it with the sub-sentiment like this, hug in a mug. And there's plenty other sub-sentiments, but isn't that cool? And now you couldn't do Simply Sentimental Hugs without the Simply Sentimental Kisses, right? And again, we have the word kisses and the word kiss for all of these different sub-sentiments. You might need the word kiss versus kisses. So yeah, there's also an ampersand so you can pair hugs and kisses. Very cool. So let's check these out, what they look like stamped. Here, I did bring back the word hugs and put it with kisses. I love this beautiful font right there. So fancy. And then we've got this cursive one that says kisses, stamped and die cut out. And then we can pair it with the sub-sentiment that says lots of kisses. Very cool. Okay, in the red with the white letters, I have die cut out the word kisses and mounted it onto the shadow layer. And I mean, the look of the die cut is just so cool. But the fact that you have the choice of pairing the die cut with the stamping, it's awesome. And you can interchange the Simply Sentimental sets together. Okay, now we have more sentiments. This is like the biggest stamp set I've ever seen. I did not measure it. I should tell you what size it is. It is called the Insider Sentiments Valentine Edition. So at Christmas time, Trinity Stamps came out with Insider Sentiments Christmas. And so that was so well loved, they brought out this Valentine version, and it's got all the things that you could want for Valentine's Day for probably years to come. And so it's going to be great for the inside of your cards. Some of them are even ones you could use other times of the year, and you could use them on the outside of your card too. All right, the coordinating die set is a speech bubble set, which you could use for anything. But look how it's got this like little oval shape that you can use with the speech bubble, so you could like layer them on top of each other. So cool. But you could also use the little oval piece by itself or the speech bubble by itself. And also, when you die cut out that little oval piece, it also is going to die cut out this little like ring. So, or a frame. You could use that to frame out this image just like that. It's very cool. Like, gives it a little bit more like visual interest, right? Now, if you die cut out the oval piece and the speech bubble at the same time, it's going to give you a speech bubble frame. And I like that for the times when you're maybe going to stamp the sentiment right on your card, and then you can just put the speech bubble frame right over the top. Very cool, right? All right, so that Insider Sentiment stamp set, that huge set, is a 6x8 set, and I've used one of the sayings here on the little speech bubble that I have popped up coming up out of this box of chocolates. That is also in my release day hop video that's linked at the end for you. Okay, next we have the mini heart swirl die. This is a like blast from the past because Trinity Stamps used to have this swirl. They still do. It was from a previous release, this swirl heart die in a larger slimline size. And we loved it so much. So now they have it in this smaller size and also a shadow layer. And I love it. So cool. So that's the last of the Stamps Die stencils. Now let's take a peek at some of the new embellishments. So some of these came out in December, but there are new baubles, there are new rhinestones, there are new bubbles, and there are new confetti pieces. I mean, there's probably over like 50 new embellishments. Now, some that I don't have that just came out, there are some Valentine Day embellishment mixes as well. So you're going to want to check out all the embellishments in the shop because, oh my word, there's so many. But this is probably one of my favorite. These are like the sugar embellishments. One is a coarse and one is a fine sugar. They look great as snow or actual sugar. There's a bunch of snowflakes and little like raindrops, and then we've got a bunch of different clay bits and different mixes. So there's some that have like flowers and leaves and pearls and little confetti bits. I love that. And there's some that are going to work really good with the donuts as well. So be sure to check those out when you are shopping. The release is in the shop now, so I will have a link to the shop for you below. And make sure you check out the release day hop next. I will see you very soon on the next video. Happy stamping! Bye!